The time is now 5 o'clock. I would like to call the board organizational meeting to order. We are at the Jerry Rovey District Facility. It is Thursday, April 10th, and it is 5 o'clock, as I stated. Board members present are Mr. Kenyon, Ms. Schmidt, Mr. Srencioni, myself, and Mr. Todd, I believe, is on the phone.
That's correct.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and move on to item 1.2, the Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Schmidt, if you could lead us, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag and to the republic, one nation under God, indivisible, with justice for all. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to item 1.3, approval of election of board president.
Madam Vice President, I'd like to make a motion to approve Michael Todd as the new board president beginning April 10th, 2025.
Second.
So there's a motion and a second. We'll go ahead and open it up for discussion. Mr. Todd, we'll start with you.
I'd be honored to serve in the position.
Okay, Mr. Kenyon.
No discussion.
Okay, Ms. Schmidt.
Excuse me. I cannot support Mr. Todd as president for multiple reasons. As a duly elected member of the board, it's my responsibility to listen to the voices of those who elected me, and they have loudly and clearly stated that they do not want Mr. Todd as a board member.
A point of order.
This is a discussion.
This is a discussion.
This on our agenda, it says action. It does not say discussion.
All of them say action because we're going to take action. So we have a discussion before every agenda item, and we are allowed to have discussion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So they've loudly and clearly stated that they do not want Mr. Todd as a board member, let alone in a leadership position on the board. The financial issues we're currently trying to rid the district of began under his leadership. Returning him to a position of leadership and then thinking he will then fix it is ridiculous and somewhat insulting to everyone who's been spending their time working on this problem. His appointment to the board was out of our hands, but what we do after will show our stakeholders if we listen to them or not. It will show the teachers who have spoken out that we are listening and we hear them. It will show the voters who came out in November and did not support Mr. Todd in the election that we still believe elections and their voices matter, even if others have ignored them. Thank you.
Mrs. Srencioni.
No discussion.
Okay, I have some concerns as well with the nomination of Mr. Todd. Throughout his tenure, he's crossed many ethical and policy boundaries frequently as the board president. He participated in HR meetings. He negotiated a stipend for a teacher that was well above anything the district or the board had ever approved, and did not follow the standard that is typical. Mr. Todd also tried to influence the way the discipline was managed by the district, which is obviously interfering with the day-to-day operations of the district. According to the policy CBA, only the superintendent supervises staff. Only the superintendent manages the day-to-day operations. These are just 3 examples of many that occurred while he was president that demonstrate his interference with the daily operation of the district and his lack of respect for the board's policy and understanding of board members' role. Not only did he interfere with the day-to-day business of the district, but he did not honor his responsibility as a board member by maintaining fiscal responsibility and adhering to open meeting laws. 10 of the 15 open meeting law potential violations sent from the Attorney General's office were during Mr. Todd's time as board president. Those violations show a pattern of behavior and a lack of respect for open meeting law. As the board president, he allowed the district to overspend $2.5 million of reserves in fiscal year 24. In planning for fiscal year 25, he didn't call for any special budget meetings in order to reduce the budget from previous years, nor did he implement any checks for district administration to prevent the district from once again dipping into our very limited reserves. As a result of the lack of planning for necessary reductions in fiscal year 25, as I have ensured that the district do for fiscal year 26, the district once again overspent in fiscal year 25. In his tenure, he did not have budget transparency. Therefore, the board was allowed to make poor decisions by approving new positions, approve new contracts to be signed, purchases to be made without ensuring that we had the budget capacity. He lost by 14 percentage points in the elections. Clearly, stakeholders do not want him representing them. The voters spoke very clearly in the election, and while we cannot control the appointment by the county superintendent, we can control the election of the board. And I do not believe it is appropriate for him to serve in leadership after losing an election by such a substantial margin. On January 13th, Mr. Cirincione, you emphasized the importance that the board stay in their lane and do not involve themselves in the daily operations of the district. Yet this is exactly what Mr. Todd did. If you believe that, why are you supporting him as the board president? At the March 24th, Mr. Kenyon, you stated that the board needs to be at the 100,000 foot level, and that we need to rely on the district administration for their recommendations. And you went even on to point out that candidates have withdrawn their names for jobs due to what you describe as board micromanaging, and that it's destructive to a district. You stated you agree. So again, why are you supporting Mr. Todd as president? If you support that statement, he did the exact opposite while he was president. Now let's hear from our staff. In the climate survey, these are just a few of the things I pulled about Mr. Todd. I feel the governing board has greatly changed my mind and enjoyment of working for this district. It is concerning that board members are getting involved in the daily operations of the school district and that this behavior is encouraged and enabled by Dr. Monroe. The board members are completely out of their lane and roles as governing board members. The job of the school board is to trust and oversee the superintendent that they hired. The governing board president needs to stop running the district. Mr. Todd's overreach in the daily operations of the district, as well as contributing to a declining work environment and culture that is currently present in the district, was included in a recent resignation letter sent to the board. During Mr. Todd's previous tenure as a school board member and board president, I suffered from verbal attacks and mistreatment on numerous occasions. This inappropriate behavior occurred during public board meetings. It also occurred during daily operations of the school and the district. This behavior was observed by district administration and other board members and was not addressed or corrected. For these reasons, I will not be supporting Mr. Todd as board president. There's no further discussion. We'll go ahead and take a vote. Mr. Todd.
Aye.
Mr. Kenyon.
Aye.
Ms. Schmidt.
Nay.
Mr. Cirincione.
Aye.
I'm also a nay, and I'd like to explain my vote. I do not support Michael Todd as the president for all the reasons mentioned previously, and I believe his presidency will have a significant negative impact on the district. Mr. Todd was defeated by 14 percentage points in the most recent election, and it's incredibly inappropriate for him to serve on this board, let alone as the president of this board, as the stakeholders undeniably did not elect him to serve. To the employees of this district, I am sorry that once again, 2 other board members have prioritized their agenda above a majority opinion of stakeholders and staff. I want you to know that I will continue to be your voice on this board.
Point of order. Point of order. You're not
I am
your vote, you're not
explaining
speaking.
my vote. Thank you.
You are speaking to teachers.
If
That is not
any
explaining.
time Mr.
And
Todd
actually,
makes
I'm
an
now the
inappropriate
president, so I will
comment,
have a point of order. Excuse me.
we'll go ahead into a recess at 5:09.
You do not have that authority. I'm now the president of the board, and I will determine if there's a recess. We will move on to item 1.
I am going to continue my statement. If at any time Mr. Todd makes an inappropriate comment, makes you feel
We will
uncomfortable,
recess
or
the
is
meeting.
involved in the day-to-day
Mr. Andrew,
operations of the
please
district,
focus.
I encourage you to send me an email. I will bring your concerns to the public. I expect Dr. Monroe to protect the employees of this district, and it is his responsibility to create a safe working environment. On this board, our voices are equal, and I will continue to ask the difficult questions and push for transparency, as all stakeholders are entitled to that. Our staff deserves to work in an environment where they feel supported and valued, not undermined and demeaned, as they did
Ms. Zimmerman?
when Mr. Todd served as
Time is
president
up.
of the board.
Your time is up. I will ask IT to mute your microphone. Your time is up.
I
I'm now
promise
the
that I will
president of the
continue to
board, and
work
you may not
hard
continue
to
any
elevate
longer.
those
You are
voices
out
who
of order.
feel silenced and afraid and advocate
You
for
are
decisions
out
and
of
policies
order.
that are student-centered, the true reason we're here.
I too need to mute the microphone. We move on to item 1.4, approval of election of board vice president.
President Todd, I believe you take it from here on 1.4.
That's correct. That's what I called for. I technically take it as soon as the vote is done in 1.3. We are now moving to 1.4, the approval of election of board vice president.
Mr. President, motion to approve Chris Kenyon as a new board vice president beginning April 10th, 2025.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion? I would ask the audience to please refrain from commenting. This is a public meeting of the board, and there shall be no interruption from the audience. Thank you. We'll start with discussion. Mr. Kenyon.
President Todd, you want to repeat that?
I just ask the audience to refrain from comment on any of this. This is a board meeting. It is not appropriate. There is no public comment in this meeting. We do have that in general meetings. That's when they're allowed to comment. But I've now moved to discussion. We have a motion and a second. Ask Mr. Kenyon if he has any discussion.
No, I'd be honored to serve as vice president.
Ms. Zimmerman.
No comment.
Ms. Schmidt.
No comment.
Mr. Cirincione.
No comment.
Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. Ms. Zimmerman.
Nay.
Mr. Cirincione.
Aye.
Ms. Schmidt.
Nay.
Mr. Kenyon.
Aye.
I'm also an aye. We will show that approved 3 yes, 2 no, to have Mr. Chris Kenyon be the board vice president. That moves us to item 2.1, which is the adjournment of the board organizational meeting. The meeting is adjourned.
President Todd, you adjourned the meeting, right?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.